In the quaint village of Eldermere, nestled between rolling hills and ancient woods, time seemed to stand still. The cobblestone streets were lined with thatched cottages, their gardens bursting with wildflowers. Yet, beneath the surface of this picturesque setting lay an unsettling history that the villagers seldom spoke of, a secret tied to a forgotten manor on the outskirts. The manor, known as Wraithwood Hall, had stood empty for decades. Its once grand effigy was now shrouded in ivy, the windows boarded up, and the roof sagging under the weight of years gone by. The villagers often whispered of the spirits that lingered there. The tragic tale of Lady Eleanor, the last of the Wraithwood line, who vanished without a trace on a stormy night, a century ago. One autumn evening, a newcomer arrived in Eldermere. Clara, a young artist seeking inspiration, was drawn to the village's charm. As she settled into her quaint cottage, she heard the hushed conversations of the villagers. They spoke of Wraithwood Hall with a mix of fear and fascination, their eyes darting towards the dark outline of the manor in the distance. Curiosity gnawed at Clara, and she decided to explore the hall the next day. Armed with her sketchbook and a sense of adventure, she made her way to the manor. The path was overgrown, but Clara's determination pushed her forward. The moment she stepped onto the property, a chill swept through the air, sending shivers down her spine. Wraithwood Hall loomed before her, an imposing structure wrapped in shadows. The front door creaked open as if inviting her in. Clara hesitated for a moment, but the artist in her craved the haunting beauty within. She stepped over the threshold, her heart racing with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. Inside, dust motes danced in the fading light, and the air was heavy with the scent of mildew. Clara wandered through the dimly lit rooms, her footsteps echoing against the worn floorboards. The walls were adorned with faded portraits of the Wraithwood ancestors, their eyes seeming to follow her as she moved. In the drawing room, Clara found a grand piano, its keys yellowed with age. She pressed a few notes, the sound resonating through the empty hall. Just then, she felt a presence behind her, a soft whisper that sent a jolt of fear through her. She spun around, but no one was there. Shaking off the feeling, she resumed her exploration, her sketchbook clutched tightly to her chest. As she delved deeper into the manor, Clara discovered a hidden staircase leading to the attic. Curiosity piqued, she ascended the creaky steps, the air growing colder with each step. The attic was cluttered with forgotten relics, dust-covered trunks, and sheets draped over furniture. It was here that Clara felt the unmistakable weight of sorrow, an emotion that wrapped around her like a shroud. At the center of the attic, a large window framed the view of the moonlit landscape. Clara approached it, her breath hitching as she caught a glimpse of something, a figure standing in the garden below. It was a woman in a flowing white gown, her hair cascading like a waterfall of silver. Clara's heart raced. Could it be Lady Eleanor? Drawing closer to the window, Clara's fingers brushed against the glass, and in that instant, the figure turned. Their eyes locked, one filled with an ancient sadness, the other brimming with curiosity. A gust of wind whipped through the attic, and the woman's form flickered like a candle in the breeze. Clara stumbled back, her heart pounding. Determined to uncover the truth, Clara returned to the village. She sought out the oldest resident, Mrs. Abernathy, who was said to know the village's history. Sitting in her cozy parlor, Clara listened intently as Mrs. Abernathy recounted the tale of Lady Eleanor.
She was a kind soul, Mrs. Abernathy began, her voice wavering with age. But she fell in love with a man her family deemed unworthy, a poor artist named Thomas. On the night of her disappearance, she planned to elope with him, but the storm raged and
her voice trailed off, sorrow etched on her face.
Many believe she was lost to the storm, while others think she was taken by her family. Some say she still roams Wraithwood Hall, waiting for Thomas to return.
Clara's heart ached for the lost lovers, and she felt a connection to Eleanor that she couldn't explain. As the days passed, Clara returned to the manor, sketching the ghostly figure she had seen, pouring her emotions into each stroke of her pencil. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Clara stood in the garden, the chill of dusk wrapping around her. She called out softly,
"Lady Eleanor, I'm here."
The wind stilled, and a whisper floated through the air, barely audible but unmistakably real.
"Help me."
Clara's heart raced. She knew she had to find a way to help Eleanor find peace. She began researching old letters and diaries, piecing together the fragments of Eleanor's story. It became clear that the love between Eleanor and Thomas had been pure, but their lives had been intertwined with tragedy and betrayal. With each discovery, Clara felt Eleanor's presence grow stronger, as if the spirit was guiding her. The whispers turned into gentle nudges, leading Clara to forgotten corners of the manor, where she uncovered relics of the past, a locket, a faded letter, and a painting of the two lovers. One stormy night, Clara returned to the attic, determined to reach out to Eleanor. She placed the locket and letter on the dusty floor and knelt, her heart pounding.
"Eleanor, I understand. I will help you find peace. You deserve to be with Thomas."
The air crackled with energy, and the temperature dropped. Clara closed her eyes, channeling her emotions, whispering the words of love and hope. Suddenly, the wind howled through the attic, and the figure of Eleanor appeared, more vivid than ever.
"Thank you."
"I was lost for so long," Eleanor whispered, her voice echoing like a distant melody.
"I was lost for so long."
Clara opened her eyes, tears streaming down her cheeks as she reached out. The ghostly figure approached, and for a moment, Clara felt the warmth of Eleanor's presence envelop her. It was as if the weight of 100 years was being lifted, a palpable release of sorrow. In that moment, the attic filled with light, illuminating the dust and forgotten memories. Clara watched as the figure of Eleanor shimmered, her expression transforming from sadness to peace. The air felt electric, and Clara knew this was the moment they had both been waiting for. As the storm raged outside, the spirit began to fade.
"Thank you."
Eleanor's voice resonated like a soft breeze, filled with gratitude.
"I will find him."
And with that, she vanished, leaving behind a lingering warmth and a sense of tranquility that enveloped Clara. She sat in the attic, surrounded by the echoes of the past, feeling a profound connection to the love story that had transcended time. In the days that followed, Wraithwood Hall seemed to breathe anew. The oppressive atmosphere lifted, and light poured into the rooms. Clara continued to sketch, her art transforming with the newfound inspiration that came from her encounter with the spirit. The villagers noticed the change too. Wraithwood Hall, once a place of fear, became a canvas of beauty. They began to share stories of love and hope, the legend of Eleanor and Thomas turning into a tale of everlasting devotion rather than tragedy. Years later, when Clara left Eldermere, she took with her not just sketches, but the profound realization that love could indeed conquer the boundaries of life and death. The whispers in the wind now carried a different tune, a melody of peace and a reminder that some stories, though cloaked in sorrow, could find their way to light. And as Clara moved on, Wraithwood Hall stood as a testament to love's enduring power, forever watched over by the gentle spirit of Lady Eleanor, finally at rest in the arms of her beloved Thomas.